Zmodo technical support videos. We're going to be going over how to set up a doorbell camera onto a Zmodo application. So currently we're going to go over some settings as far as things we're going to need to know before we go through the setup process for the doorbell itself. First thing is we need to look at the name of your Wi-Fi network, and it is going to be case sensitive. So if you have any capital letters or lowercase letters or anything like that in there, we have to make sure we remember exactly as it's typed in here, because if we type it in different at all, it will time itself out. So you do want to make sure that you write it down according to as it shows right here. So you're going to see the name of the network, and then you also want to do the same thing with the password as well. Make sure it's case sensitive, any capital letters or lowercase letters, you want to write that down on a piece of paper as well. From there, we want to make sure we download an application called Zmodo. And you can find this at the Apple Store or the Google Play Store if you have an Android. And then next you want to go ahead and sign up with an account once you have it downloaded. Usually email is preferable. However, if you use a phone number, that's fine as well. You want to make sure that the cameras are plugged in, or the doorbell is at least plugged in kind of close to where the router is. You normally have this mounted up on the side of the house or wherever you have it set up at. But having it close by is usually preferable if it's in case you have any kind of range related issues, or if the signal is not particularly strong at the location. Next thing is you want to make sure that the network you are going to connect it to is a 2.4 gigahertz network. Sometimes you can look at the name of the Wi-Fi network and it might specify at the end of it whether it's a 2G or a 5G network. We do have to make sure it is a 2G network. If we're unsure of what we have on this particular network that you're trying to connect it to, you can also speak with the internet service provider. They can basically log into your router and check it for you as far as finding out what kind of setup you have there. So once we have that information written down and we made sure that it was all correct, we want to go back to the home screen here, which is what you'll see on the app at the moment. And on the top right, there's going to be a plus sign. We're going to go ahead and click on that. We want to go to the one that says Add Device. From there, we're going to have the option called Zink. We're going to go ahead and click on that. And it's going to be the number of devices here. In this case, we're only going to be doing the one, so we want to click on one. Or just keep it at one and hit the check mark. This is going to go through a lengthy explanation, but for the most part, what it's telling you is you need to connect to a network called ZMD_SAP, then you need to come back to the phone application. So at this point, we're going to do tap here to begin setup, which is the square on the bottom of the screen. And what we're going to see is a list of Wi-Fi networks in the area currently. In this case, what we're connected to is Wi-Fi 1. And what we're going to be waiting for is one called ZMD_SAP. If it doesn't show up immediately, you can give it a few moments and it should show up pretty soon after that. In this case, we're pretty close to where the doorbell is, so that's why it's got a really strong signal right now. So we'll go ahead and click in on the ZMD SAP to connect to it. And the next thing we want to do is also click on the home network, in this case Wi-Fi, and we want to do forget. We might have to wait for ZMD stop to show back up. Sometimes it may disappear for a quick moment there. Okay. So as you can see, it's currently connected to ZMD SAP, which is what we need. And we did forget network on the home network. And again, that's mostly because sometimes certain devices don't like to be on a network that does not have internet access. So sometimes clicking on it to forget it will help with that. So at this point, we can go to this screen here. In some circumstances, you're going to have a drop-down that you can click on to select your Wi-Fi network. In this case, you'll see the Wi-Fi network on there. What we're going to do for demonstration purposes is manually type it in though. So in most cases you can just click on the Wi-Fi there and then select it and then do that. But we're just going to do it manually just to make sure that we cover both on that. So in this case, Y the phi 1. And Y the phi. Ooh. And just to make sure we're typing in correctly, there is a little I to the right of it. We just want to make sure that it's also correct too. In this case, it's a very similar name of the network and password, but as you can see, when we were looking at the list of Wi-Fi networks earlier, the W, the T, and the F were all uppercase, and the rest of it was lowercase. If we don't type it in exactly as it shows there, it will time itself out, so we do want to make sure that it's typed in identical to that. So once you are certain that you have everything typed in the way you want it, we can go ahead and click on the check mark. And what this is going to do is start to search for the camera itself. So this may take it a few moments. And what you're going to hopefully see pretty soon is the doorbell, the little light on the front of it will stop blinking green. It might blink blue for a little bit, then it goes to a solid blue. And that's kind of what we're hoping for currently. So it may take it about 30 seconds to a minute or so. So once it's went through and added the device, you should have a screen that comes up like this, and it will say add wireless device, and it's going to show you the ID of the specific device you have on there. It'll ask you for a password and the time zone. Now the time zone is usually pretty accurate. The password is just if you want to put additional security on the camera itself. That part's optional, however you do have to at least name the camera. So where it has the ID at the very top there, you can go ahead and click on it. It's going to bring up your keyboard where you can type in something on there. In this case, we're going to call it doorbell. Now, once you're okay with whatever you named it on there, you can go ahead and just hit the check mark on the very bottom. And that's going to add the device for you. And once you have the device added, you can go ahead and just hit later. We're going to go over some really quick setup stuff as far as different settings and stuff on there. So in the center there it's going to be mostly pertaining to like alerts. So if you have it set to away, that means it's going to send you alerts anytime there's a motion. Home is usually a mixture. Some devices it might set up as the alerts on and other ones off. The sleep one by default usually turns all the alerts off. So these are different options you can set up if you're not wanting to get alerts at certain time frames. And those are all customizable, so you can go in and make changes to it. And we should have a future video that's going to kind of go a little bit more in depth on that, but that's just some basics as far as like how it's usually defaulted at the start. Now we can click on the video button if we want to view the live video feed. So in this case, you can see that the doorbell is listed there. If you had other cameras, they would be listed below. And we're going to go ahead and click on that one. And from here, it's just going to bring you to the camera feed itself. So as you can see, it's a live video feed. So to go over some of the icons that we see on the screen here, on the bottom left is a little recorder. And that one is to record whatever you're looking at currently. The next one is a camera. This, if you click on it, it's going to take a screenshot of the image you're currently looking at. There's a microphone in the middle. If you tap on it, you can talk through it. And then the next one is for volume, so that allows you to listen through the doorbell as well. The last one on the far right is going to be the playback. So if I had this set up either with like an NVR system or with a cloud, I can then go to view previous recordings on it. Then on the top, well, right above where the playback is, you're going to see these two arrows that are facing in opposite directions. You can also do that to do full screen as well. All the way towards the top right, you're going to see a gear, and that gear is going to bring you to the settings on here, and it's going to walk you through a bunch of different things that you can modify on there. It'll have like, if you want to make changes to like your motion detection and all that stuff. And that's probably going to also be detailed a little bit more, but you can go in there and kind of check out some of the settings as well. Then on the top left is a back arrow. and then that should bring you back to the main screen. The alerts are if you want to look at notifications. So when I brought my hand in front of the doorbell a few moments ago, as you can see here, we have a motion alert from it. And that's how you would be able to see the motion alert. And then clouds, basically if you have cloud service, there's some options in there. The lighting, environment, and network are going to be for separate things, so we don't have to mess with those necessarily. So if you did enjoy this video, we should have some more posted before too long. And some of those will kind of go over some more in-depth information about the app itself and different functions on it. But this is mostly just a quick guide of how to add it to your Wi-Fi and some very basic general use stuff. So if you did like this video, definitely let us know. And hopefully we should have some more posted in the near future as far as how to go through the app itself and make different adjustments to the app and different features that are on there. So thank you for watching Zmodo technical support videos, and you have a good day.